Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So meal planning is one of the cornerstones of this whole thing, of boosting and making your body baby friendly, of the fertility diet, because if you know what to do, but you don't know how to do it, that's going to be a problem. And for many people, it's not that they don't understand that they need to eat more whole foods or they need to be cooking in their kitchen more and relying less on takeout. It's not a matter of knowing what to do. It's about knowing how to do it, how to execute so that meal planning actually buys you time back. For many people that I talk to, they say meal planning took so much time. I threw all the food out. And I want you to know that you weren't doing meal planning as you should, because meal planning works. And if it didn't work for you, you just weren't doing it right. And that's not to accuse you, but that's just to tell you that meal planning can be a real benefit to you. And as a professional chef who has literally planned and prepared over 10,000 meals, I can tell you that if you follow the way that I teach you how to meal plan in the Meal Planning Masterclass, it will completely revolutionize the way you look at meal planning and also how you approach your fertility diet. So today I'm presenting to you a little snippet, a 10-minute block of the Meal Planning Masterclass that you find in the Fertility Blueprint. I want you to have an introduction to what this work is going to look like, but also kind of open your mind so that you can see that you are likely just doing meal planning ineffectively. And once you understand how to meal plan as opposed to meal prep, everything completely changes. So I hope that you enjoy this workshop. Kitchen organization is very important. If you walk into the space and it makes you feel agita, if it makes you feel tense, stressed, overwhelmed, it is not a place that you are going to want to spend time. And this is a bad thing, especially if you are endeavoring to cook more food at home for the purpose of rising in ultimate health, but also for maybe saving a little coin, keeping it in your pocket. So having an organized kitchen, I can tell you as someone who used to cook in people's homes, that most kitchens in people's homes are poorly organized or poorly appointed for success. So before you go out and buy food, you have to think about going through your kitchen and organizing yourself for success, making sure that you have the space to even go into and create these meals. A lot of people put the cart before the horse and they plan these elaborate meals they're going to have on this day and that day, and they're going to freeze them, or maybe they don't think of that, but they don't at all think, is my space ready for that? Is my kitchen meal planning friendly? And so one way that you can do that in the first way is to store your items by use. So arrange your kitchenware and just your kitchen in general with things and where you're going to be prepping the most by frequency of use. So everyday dishes going to be on hand. They're going to be easy to reach in a low shelf. It doesn't require you walking across your kitchen or back and forth multiple times to grab things. There's a lot of time wasted going back and forth in between the pantry and the this and the that, simply because you haven't thought to yourself, how do I organize myself correctly? And special occasion pieces, you put them up, or maybe you put them downstairs in your storage room, or maybe they're in your sunroom, like some of my things are. I don't know. But those things are out of the way, so that the things that you use on a consistent basis and that are going to make meal planning easier are where you need them to be. Like, for instance, I don't know if this is going to be your case or not, but say you want to, use your stand-up mixer a lot, but in order to use it at its current state, you got to go into another room, pick it up. It's very heavy. Take it to your kitchen, plug it in, find a place for it. The likelihood of you using it is very slim. And that goes with anything. So make all of those things convenient for you to access, so that you're saving time, but you're also saving yourself the overwhelm of like, oh my God, I have to do this and that. You can just, get down to cooking when it comes down to it. You also want to group similar objects. You want to group your objects by purpose, assign them to specific cabinets, maybe having a centralized like bakeware section, a centralized just prep section, and everything that you need in each category to be sort of close by. Keeping plastic bags and wrapping and all that kind of stuff in a drawer near the refrigerator makes, or, you know, the stove, or where you sort of like put food away for the evening, make that accessible as well, because that's also a part of it. I think a lot of people, when they think about meal planning, they get excited about, oh my gosh, I'm going to make this food. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. But they don't think about the infrastructure where you're going to do it. I would often, as a private chef, go into like new homes of people that I was like cooking for the first time, and there'd be no space in the fridge for the food I was making. And again, that creates stress. As a professional, I am like very Tetris. I can Tetris a fridge within an inch of its life. But that would make someone as a home cook very stressed, I imagine. Where am I going to put all this food? So, you know, understanding that as well just makes like a huge difference. You want to have a designated cooking zone. And like I said before, you want to make sure that everything is within a close reach. Within arm's reach is like perfect, but not all of us are blessed. So just within, you know, a distance that feels like you're not wasting time going back and forth. So around the stove, potentially, where you're going to have pots, pans, you're going to be close to the range as possible. You're going to have the tools that you need to use to cook with. Like what I, right in my home, right next to the stove oven is like a pottery thing that has all of the utensils that you would need cooking on a stove or an oven. There's like spatulas, there's whisks, there's wooden spoons, there's the whole thing. And I don't have to move or do anything to grab it. And that makes it easy. And so you want to move things around so that you're efficient in your kitchen. You know, again, everything should be close to where it's being used. The functionality should be there. So again, cooking implements, like I said, in my house, they're right by the stove. I put knives and chopping boards right near my prep area. So I have an island that sits in front of the window. And then I have a like, you know, industrial kitchen shelf. And on that shelf, without me having to do any steps, are all of the cutting boards and baking sheets and things that I would probably use if I was making a sheet pan thing or if I was prepping anything. And so, again, if you are going to be using a stand mixer, you want to do some baking, some biscuits, some cookies, I don't know, granola bars, go off. You're going to want to put all of those ingredients that you're going to need by the mixer, because then it's going to feel easy when you do it, because you're not thinking like, oh my God, I got to go get this, I got to go get this, I got to go get this. Doing this ahead of time will release so much of the overwhelm that happens to people in the first phases of meal planning, which ultimately makes most people quit meal planning. And that's no good. You just have to set yourself up for success. Another thing that, again, I don't think that people really consider is to, you know, maybe try out some see-through storage. This isn't necessary right out of the gates. Certainly, I don't. You know, we're going to go through a kitchen essentials list, and I feel like some of this stuff is tertiary. Certainly, see-through storage. That being said, if you buy multiples of certain items, and you are like one of those people that's like, oh, I have 6 quinoas or whatever. I've been to some homes where I was private chefing again the first time I was there, and I would find like 6 quinoas, like 7 cans of kidney beans. It's like, oh my gosh, nobody looked in here before they went shopping. And so being able to see the things clearly, so you see your rice, you see your pastas, you see all the things, you see the things that you have, even in the fridge. If you put your celery and your carrots in water and it's a clear container, you know, okay, this is how many I have, etc. It helps you prevent overbuying and money wasting. And this is also great for organization, because then you can sort of see how things should be grouped together just because it's right in your face. Okay, keeping everything in its place. With everything in my kitchen assigned a spot, it's truly easy for me